Study 8.6 Our Creator's Calendar. Our Messiah was born in September, which is summer in Yisrael, and the shepherds watched their flocks at night by the light of the full moon. Shalom, this is the sixth in a series of studies on the subject of our Creator's Calendar. The outline of this study. 1. The date of our Messiah's birth according to Dr. Chuck Missler. Dr. Missler states Augustus began to rule in the autumn of 43 BCE. Augustus began to rule 41 years before the birth of Messiah, according to Tertullian and Irenaeus, and Messiah's birth was in the 42nd year of the reign of Augustus, according to Eusebius. This points forward to our Messiah's birth in 2 BCE. Cleopatra died in 30 BCE. Cleopatra died 28 years before the birth of Messiah, according to Tertullian. The subjugation of Egypt into the Roman Empire occurred in the autumn of 30 BCE. Our Messiah was born in the 28th year from the subjection of Egypt on the death of Antony and Cleopatra, according to Eusebius. This points forward to our Messiah's birth in 2 BCE. Dr. Missler states Herod died on January the 14th, 1 BCE, and Herod died after Messiah's birth. This points back to our Messiah's birth in 2 BCE. There was an eclipse shortly before Herod died, according to Josephus. Assuming this was the eclipse of December 29, 1 BCE, this points back to our Messiah's birth in 2 BCE. Augustus died on August the 19th, 14 CE. That was the year of ascension for Tiberius. Augustus died 15 years after the birth of Messiah, according to Tertullian. This points back to our Messiah's birth in 2 BCE. Dr. Missler then considers the lunar month of our Messiah's birth. He states, the temple was destroyed by Titus on August the 5th, 70 CE. When the temple was destroyed, the first division of priests had just taken office, according to the Talmud and Josephus. Since the division of Abiyah was the fourth division of the second lunar month, Zechariah ended his duties on July the 13th, 3 BCE. Yohanan the Baptist, born 280 days later on April the 2nd, 2 BCE. And our Messiah, born 6 months later on September the 29th, 2 BCE. Our Messiah was born September the 29th, 2 BCE. That is in the autumn of 2 BCE. Finally, Dr. Missler states, Yohanan the Baptist began his ministry in the 15th year of Tiberius of Caesar. 14 CE was the year Augustus died and Tiberius ascended the throne. Therefore, 28 CE was the 15th year of Tiberius Caesar. Yohanan the Baptist, born April the 20th, 2 BCE, as above. The minimum age for ministry is 30. Therefore, Yohanan the Baptist began his ministry April the 20th, 28 CE. As our Messiah was 6 lunar months younger, this again points back to our Messiah's birth in autumn 2 BCE. Outline of Dr. Missler's study. So Dr. Missler uses historic dates of secular events to argue for our Messiah was born September 29th, 2 BCE, that is, in the autumn of 2 BCE. In this study, I do not focus on the year of our Messiah's birth, but only on the lunar month of our Messiah's birth. Using our Creator's calendar, I confirm our Messiah was born in September on the Roman calendar. 2. The divisions of Abiyah. Zechariah was officiating as Kohen in the house of Yahuwah in Jerusalem during the division named Abiyah. Scripture defines 24 Kohen priest divisions. Each division was one Shavua of days in length. The division was changed on the seventh day Shabbat after sunset, when the Shabbat hours were past. Only 24 divisions are given in Scripture, covering the first 6 lunar months of the year. Most scholars assume the divisions are then repeated to cover the remainder of the year. However, the divisions were drawn by lot, and each division was given a distinct name. So why would you assume the divisions were simply repeated? What will you do in a year with 13 lunar months? No, only the first 6 lunar months are given. Going beyond this is making an assumption, as Scripture has only given us the first 6 lunar months. Clearly, we do not need to know beyond this. 3. The date of our Messiah's birth according to our Creator's calendar. Dr. Misler identified the year and month of our Messiah's birth, and Kerry French identified the specific day of our Messiah's birth. The following is based on her study. The messenger Gabriel appears to Zechariah. Elisheba was barren, and both her and Zechariah were advanced in years. Zechariah was serving in the division of Abiyah, which is the 4th Shavua in the 2nd lunar month of the year. The messenger Gabriel appeared to Zechariah, announcing, "Your wife Elisheba shall bear you a son, and you shall call his name Yohanan." As soon as the days of his service were completed, Zechariah departed to his own house. The 29th day of the 2nd lunar month is the 7th day Shabbat, a day of rest and worship, and the last day of the division of Abiyah. The 30th day of the 2nd lunar month was a normal work day. The first day of the 3rd lunar month was a day of rest and worship. Zechariah was a man on a mission to fulfill the pending promise. His division changed on the 7th day Shabbat after sunset, when the Shabbat hours were past. Zechariah had only one day on which to travel home, the 30th day of the lunar month, before the rest day on the first day of the lunar month. Elisheba conceives. Twice we are told Elisheba was advanced in years, meaning she was well past having a monthly ovulation cycle. Elisheba's pregnancy was not dependent upon her monthly ovulation. Yes, Miriam's pregnancy was the virgin birth, but Elisheba's pregnancy was also a miracle. Gabriel's announcement was fulfilled the very night Zechariah arrived home. Elisheba conceived according to the promise on the very evening of his arrival home. Elisheba conceived on the 30th day of the 2nd lunar month. Miriam conceives. The messenger Gabriel announced to Miriam, "You shall conceive in your womb and shall give birth to a son, and call his name Yahushua." The miracle of Miriam's pregnancy did not require a hit or miss conception based upon her monthly ovulation cycle. Miriam became pregnant immediately. She said, "See the female servant of Yahuwah, let it be to me according to your word." The period of time between Elisheba and Miriam conceiving. Twice we are told Elisheba is now 6 months pregnant. The two pregnancies were not approximately 6 lunar months apart. They were exactly 6 lunar months apart to the day. This was not just one miracle, but 2 miracles. Gabriel's 2 visits were specifically designed to show both pregnancies were miracles tied together in one unbroken series of events. Yes, Miriam's pregnancy was the virgin birth, but Elisheba's pregnancy was also a miracle because she had been barren. The messenger Gabriel appeared to Zechariah during the division of Abiyah. Elisheba conceived on the 30th day of the 2nd lunar month, and the messenger Gabriel appeared to Miriam. Miriam conceived on the 30th day of the 8th lunar month. Elisheba and Miriam both conceived on the 30th day of the lunar month, but exactly 6 lunar months apart. Elisheba and Miriam both conceived on the 30th day of the lunar month, exactly 6 lunar months apart. Miriam travelled from Nazareth to Yehuda, and Elisheba's baby leapt in her womb at the sound of Miriam's voice, a sign Miriam was carrying our unborn Messiah. Yohanan the Baptist is born on the first day of the 12th lunar month. Yahushua HaMashiach is born on the first day of the 6th lunar month. Yahushua HaMashiach was born on the first day of the 6th lunar month. The first day of the lunar month is at the full moon opposition. The full moon provided the light for the shepherds to watch their flocks by night. Purification after childbirth. When a woman has given birth to a male child, she is unclean for 7 days. Then she presents her child for circumcision on the 8th day. Then for another 33 days the woman must not go into the set-apart place, the house of Yahuwah in Jerusalem. Miriam could not go to the house of Yahuwah in Jerusalem until 40 days after the birth of her son. Miriam abided by the Torah of purification for 7 days. Then our Messiah's circumcision was on the 8th day after his birth. 33 days later, on the 10th day of the 7th lunar month, Miriam's 40 days of purification were complete. It was a 6-mile journey for Miriam and Joseph to travel from Bethlehem to the house of Yahuwah in Jerusalem. On the 10th day of the 7th lunar month, which is the Day of Atonement, Yahushua HaMashiach is anointed in the house of Yahuwah at Jerusalem by Simeon, a righteous man, and by Anna, the prophetess. 4. Overview. 1. Zechariah during the division of Abiyah, the 4th Shavua of the 2nd lunar month. Zechariah travelled home on the 30th day of the 2nd lunar month. This is the day after the Shabbat and the day before the first day of the 3rd lunar month. Elisheba conceived on the 30th day of the 2nd lunar month. 2. Miriam conceived on the 30th day of the 8th lunar month. Elisheba and Miriam both conceived on the 30th day of the lunar month, but exactly 6 lunar months apart. 3. Miriam is with Elisheba during the coldest of the winter months. 4. Yohanan the Baptist is born on the first day of the 12th lunar month. 5. Yahushua the Messiah is born on the first day of the 6th lunar month. Our Messiah is born in summer at the time of the full moon, and there are shepherds in the fields watching their flocks at night by the light of the full moon. Pray that your flight be not in winter. Yehuda is not passable in winter, that is December, as it snows there. 6. Miriam's 40-day purification ends on the 10th day of the 7th lunar month, which is the Day of Atonement. Yahushua the Messiah is presented at the house of Yahuwah in Jerusalem on the Day of Atonement, and Simeon and Anna meet him. 7. The wise men from the east arrive, and then Miriam and Joseph and Yahushua head south to Egypt before the winter arrives. 5. A warning on celebrating birthdays. Nowhere in Scripture are we instructed to celebrate birthdays. Our Messiah never celebrated his birthday, and we are not instructed to celebrate our Messiah's birthday. On the contrary, every time a birthday is mentioned in Scripture, it is associated with something bad. Job's sons and daughters died on the birthday of the firstborn son. Pharaoh's birthday ended badly with the death of the baker, and Joseph having to languish in prison for another 2 years. On Herod's birthday, Yohanan the Baptist was beheaded. Birthdays on December the 25th, or the winter solstice. Babylonian religion was based upon Nimrod, Semiramis, and their son Tammuz. All the nations of the earth adopted these under different names. All these as one and the same were born on the 25th of December. Hebrew believers do not celebrate birthdays. See YouTube video. Birthdays are more satanic than you think. 6. Conclusion. Dr. Misler used historic dates of secular events to demonstrate our Messiah was born September 29, 2 BCE, that is autumn 2 BCE. Using the calendar of Scripture, Kerry French identified the specific day of our Messiah's birth. Our Messiah was born on the first day of the 6th lunar month, which is also September-October on the Roman calendar. Furthermore, Miriam's pregnancy was the virgin birth, but Elisheba's pregnancy was also a miracle because she had been barren. Both pregnancies were miracles, tied together in one unbroken series of events. Furthermore, the first day of the lunar month is the time of the full moon, when the full moon provided the light for the shepherds to watch their flocks by night. Furthermore, 40 days later, when Miriam had completed her purification period, on the 10th day of the 7th lunar month, the Day of Atonement, our Messiah is anointed in the house of Yahweh at Jerusalem by Simeon, a righteous man, and by Anna, the prophetess. Our Messiah was born in September, which is summer in Yisrael, and the shepherds watched their flocks at night by the light of the full moon. Our Messiah was not born in December. Christmas is a demonic lie. Our Messiah's first coming. Our Messiah was born on the first day of the 6th lunar month. Our Messiah was presented by his human parents at his father's house in Jerusalem on the 10th day of the 7th lunar month, which is Yom HaKippurim, the Day of Atonements. Our Messiah presented himself at his father's house in Jerusalem on the 10th day of the 1st lunar month, the day the Passover lambs were presented for inspection. Our Messiah's second coming. On the 10th day of the 7th lunar month, which is Yom HaKippurim, the Day of Atonement, ? Baruch Habab Bashem Yahuwah. Blessed is he who is coming in the name of Yahweh.